Hello YouTube! We're on the Real Programming channel. I'm its host. My name is Andrei. I greet you. Welcome. This is our 22 lesson. We're talking about HTML, PHP and MySqL, and topic we will about what does the function MySqL fetch array fetch. Okay, and the first things first, grab the data. Okay. What is it? We are already pretty well versed in extracting data from forms in PHP. So the first step is nothing new. Just use the $_post superglobal to store away the mail subject and message body in variables. While we're at it, let's go ahead and store Elmer's email address in a variable, since we'll need it later when sending the emails. Okay, this is our code. Exactly. Don't forget, remember, you will find all the code and materials of this lesson under this video in description, link to Google Drive and Sublime Text and Validator. Please download this. Elmer's email addresses is stored in a variable, so that we know exactly where it is in case it ever needs to change. The email message form data stored in a variable too. Their main data required by the sendMail.php script comes from Elmer's MySqL database. Pulling customer data from the mail_list table data into the script requires a select query. Unlike before, when we used the MySqL terminal to issue a select and look at table data, this time we're doing it in the sendMail.php script and issuing the query with MySqL_query. The $query variable holds the SQL query as a string of text. Here is our query, which selects all of the columns from the mail_list table. MySqL_query executes the query using a connection variable $dbc and the query string $query. A database connection is a query. In order to submit a query, the details of the connection are stored in the $dbc variable. So all we have to do is go to the query results in the $result variable, right? No. The $result variable doesn't actually hold any query data. If you try echo the $result variable directly, you'll see something like this. Results ID #3. That $result variable stores an ID number for an MySqL resource, not the actual data returned by the query. What happens is the MySqL server temporarily stores the results of your query and gives them a resource number to identify them. You then use this resource ID with the PHP MySqL fetch array functions to grab the data one row at a time. MySqL fetch array fetches query results. Once your query executes, we can grab the results with the $result variable. These variables use it with the MySqL fetch array functions to get the data in the table one row at a time. Each row of data is returned as an array, which we can store in a new variable named $row. And $row MySqL fetch row result. This function retrieves a row of data from the query results and stores it in an array. The result variable $row is an array that initially stores the first row of data from our results. Each SQL query has its own resource ID number that is used to access the data associated with its results. Each time this code is executed by the web server, a row of data from the query results gets stored in the $row array. You repeatedly call the MySqL fetch array functions to step toward each row of the query results. So the first three calls to the MySqL fetch array functions retrieves the first three rows of data from the table, storing each column of the row as an item in the $row array. The MySqL fetch array functions stores a row of data is in an array. Each column of data is stored as an item in the $row array. The $row variable is set as an array containing 3 elements, one for each of the 3 columns of data. Exercise: sharpen your pencil and sheet of paper as a test to make sure we can actually get the customer data row at the time. Finish writing the PHP code to the echo the first name, last name, and the mail addresses to each customer in the mail list table. This is our code, attention. And if you're ready for a solution, let's continue to watch. If you are not ready, take a pause. And the solution will be in the description link to Google Drive. You can download it. Okay, this is our solution. You have got the kid in me. Repeating the same 2 lines of codes over and over is about the dumbest things I've ever seen. Surely there is a better way. There is a better way. We need a loop. A loop is a mechanism in the PHP language that repeats a chunk of code until a certain conditions being met, like running out of data, so a loop can cycle toward each row of data. In a query result, taking any action we want to each row along the way. Looping for a while. A while looping is a loop specifically geared toward repeating code while a certain condition is met. For example, you might have a variable in a customer service application named $got_customers that keeps up with whether or not customers are waiting to be helped. If $got_customers is set to true, you know there are more customers, so you might call the next_customers functions to get the text next customers and help them. Here is how this scenario could be coded using while loop. While loop repeats code while a condition is met. And as long as we still have customers, keep on looping. This is the code that gets executed each time to the loop. And closing the loop code with curly lets you execute as many lines of code as you want. A while loop lets up as a loop toward customers until there aren't any left. When we look to see if there are more customers, we're testing a condition. The condition is the code in the parentheses, and it always poses a question that results in a yes or a no answer. If it's yes or true, then the action is performed. If it's no or false, then we quit the loop. When we call next_customer and proceed to help, then we are performing an action. The action is the code inside the curly braces, which is repeated as long as the condition remains true. If the conditions ever goes false, the loop exists and the action is not repeated again. Here is the general format of a while loop. The test conditions always results in true or false. Keep looping true or stop looping false. The loop actions takes place once each time to the loop. Brain power. How do you think while loop could be used to loop toward the customers in a email_ list? Answer you may and in comment tell me. Say. Okay, next topic. Looping toward data with while. We'll talk about this in the next lesson. And here is our lesson 20 about HTML and PHP MySqL is over. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, please. Put like, share with friends and comment. Share your solution in comment. Then meditate, do exercise every evening after you have done all the work. Watch this lesson every evening. Read more books. Read more books and read exercise. Drink more water for the brain. And eat bananas, chocolate, and nuts. Thank you. That's all. Bye.